This is the third day of the Global Conference on Climate Change. In this eighth GCC Pavilion, I welcome His Majesty Inkosi Makhosi Gomani. Most welcome, sir. He is from Malawi and King of Malawi. So the other panelist is Dr. Albert from Philippines, a commissioner, and of course in Philippines with Asian countries, the post is about ministerial level. So we are here to discuss about after the Paris Agreement, the changes between the countries and how they are going to achieve the net zero targets. So I wish these panelists will be giving a global perspective as well as the perspective of their countries, because everyone is only listening or reading that the African countries are doing a lot of things. They are in a vulnerable state, but still they are trying to be in that race, which is always the path for achieving the net zero targets. I welcome His Majesty Inkosi Makhosi Gomani V, Nugevin of the Maesco Nyagoni, is an alumni of the prestigious Kamazu Academy, from where he proceeded to Catholic University, where he read economics. He is also graduate of Jubilee University, where he studied public management. Willard Mastawi Gomani is the king of the Maesco Nyagoni in Malawi, Mozambique, Tanzania, Lesotho, and the Republic of South Africa. He is the only surviving reigning king of the America Maesco Nyagoni, whose kings ruled present-day Eswatini and vast territory in the Republic of South Africa. I welcome you, sir, with majesty, and it's privilege to listen to you when these climate conferences are on the peak. Because after the Paris Agreement, many things have happened. Many countries are signed the agreement according to Paris Agreement, and we are really lucky to have you here to know the horses truth, we can say. So, all to you.
Thank you, moderator and chair, Professor Apte. As you said, I am Inkosi Makhosi, King of the Maseko Ngoni, and I'm here with my colleague as well, King of Ntcheu. In Malawi, we have about 11 tribes. And our main language that we speak in Malawi is Ntcheu, and English as well. And within all these tribes, we have 6 kings in the country. And today is the 2 of us who are currently here present at a COP28. Thank you for having us. My presentation will be on climate action and how we can achieve climate zero. I will specifically do a case study on a little definition of the work that we're doing in Ntcheu. Ntcheu is one of the districts in Malawi. We have 28 districts in the country, all of which is in Ntcheu. We shall explain some of the work that we're doing, and also the commitments that the traditional leaders have signed with the president in Malawi when it comes to climate action and the work that we need to do. The roadmap is, I'll give a background, importance of the impact of climate change in Malawi, action to mitigate climate change, adaptation measures, and conclusion. The background here is that climate change has become a global issue. Currently, there's an outward shift in the average state of climate. Human activities are realizing a lot of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, such that burning fossil fuels such as coal and oil, clearing of vegetation for agriculture and settlement, it has affected both developed and developing countries, but even more so developing countries. The impact is severe. more in developing countries because of high dependency on natural resources. People are usually cutting down trees because they survive through use of the trees for charcoal. If you don't have enough money in your house, you're better off going to cut down a tree, make some charcoal, sell the charcoal, and make some money to feed your family. And in some cases as well, people cut down trees to even build houses. Limited capacity and scope of climate variability and extremes. We need to have more civic education also in developing countries. Some people don't understand that what they're going through is actually because of the impact from climate change. Impacts of climate change in Malawi. Visibly, the impacts are erratic rainfall, droughts, prolonged dry spells, strong winds, outbreak of pests and diseases, drying of water bodies, e.g. Lake Ntcheu, and floods. You see the picture that I've showed you of the boats, and they seem to be in a dry area. That was a picture taken in 2012 of Lake Ntcheu. It has been revived now, a little bit much better. But then Lake Ntcheu is one of our lakes that usually goes throughout the whole year. And then as you can see, during 2012-13 onwards, we had a dry spell. You see? So these are some of the effects of climate change. And last year, Malawi also experienced Cyclone Freddy, and there was flooding throughout the southern region towards the central region. And the effects were still even reaching up to the northern region where we had some mountains bursting out and guzzling out water. So that image there of the floods, what happened with Cyclone Freddy. Actions being undertaken. Some of the various actions that we've taken: tree planting and management for tree regeneration. Most communities at individual and groups are planting trees every year and manage regenerance. Promote water harvesting and management of water stress and insecurity, e.g. construction of small-scale dams. Use of alternate sources of energy, such as to reduce use of firewood and charcoal. As I say, most people use firewood and charcoal as their main source of also income in the communities. So it's really hard for us to just tell people to stop cutting down trees recklessly, because basically they survive on their particular use of the trees, or they're using it for charcoal to make money and to meet the ends of the family. So as you can also see in the picture, that's me right there, kneeling down as I was planting trees symbolically. What we've been doing lately is that we take tree seedlings and bring them to communities and give those communities the seedlings, plant together with them, and also teach them how to manage these tree seedlings. Because the main problem we're having is not only cutting down trees, but also cutting down trees but not replanting trees. You see, the rate we're cutting down trees and the rate we're planting trees is not at par. So we need to have an equilibrium there. Whereby people should understand that trees should be treated like maize. Whereby you have a time when you plant the maize, you let the maize grow, you harvest, and you plant some more. So if we do things like that, surely we won't be having issues of deforestation in our communities, in our countries, and at world and global level as well. Next, climate change adaptation being taken in Malawi. The adaptation that we're doing in Malawi is strengthening food systems to improve food security, strengthening extensive services to improve adaptation of farming technologies, e.g. adoption of soil and management conservation, development of community forests, diversifying crops and livestock to improve nutrition and food security, e.g. establishment of farmers groups that are promoting different enterprises, improving access to water production, e.g. development of irrigation schemes. So as you can see, we're trying to just make sure that we work on it holistically because we know that when we talk about climate, the effects are holistic as well. So we're not just looking at planting new trees, taking care of old forests and what we know, and also even making our farming habits even more better, more eco-friendly. Try to get into using more manure and bio-friendly products when it comes to our farming, and even just basically incentivizing our farmers and communities, and even providing a lot of more civic education so that our people know what is happening with climate change and how we can mitigate and how we can work together, not only from the government side, but generally as a citizen. Another thing is climate change is in conclusion, climate change is real. There's need to embark on landscape restoration and improved livelihood programs, integrating adaptation response into development planning, sustainable climate change and financing. And another thing is that Malawi through the AFR 100 dedicated themselves or committed that we will plant 4.5 million hectares of tree cover by 2030. Because there is that AFR 100 whereby the entire Africa is planning to have covered a landmass of 100 million of tree cover by 2030. I think I'll be ready for questions at any point in time after this presentation, but thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, His Majesty. It's a very insightful presentation, and we are very happy that you are looking forward for the conservation, not only in plantation and all holistic activities, because the nature-based solutions are very important in coming days. So thanks for your presentation. I request Dr. Ali presentation. I just give a small introduction of him. Albert P. Dela Cruz is a Commissioner of Climate Change Commission. He is a licensed environmental planner, renewable energy advocate, occupational and safety health practitioner, a lecturer, a licensed real estate consultant, real estate broker, and a real estate developer constructing more than 1,000 housing units for economic and socialized housing. He is a former member of the governing board of the Philippine National Oil Company, Exploration Corporation, and a pollution control officer accredited by the Department of Environmental and Natural Resources, Environmental Management Bureau. I think I'm very lucky that I have two multifaceted personalities for this global perspective of climate change to path to the net zero. And I look forward for your presentation, Dr. Albert. You can start.
Thank you, Madam, Your Majesty, Excellencies, Honorable ladies and gentlemen. I am Commissioner Albert de la Cruz, one of the commissioner of the Philippine Climate Change Commission. I am here because we want to have collaborations. Simply because through collaboration, especially with the developing country, especially the forest sink country, should be able to have a coalition, a collaboration, simply because you ask me why. You ask me why. Why? So that you will not sleep altogether. It's because forest is the new oil. But as mentioned by the Majesty, we're always planting trees. It's an occasion, perhaps twice a year, thrice a year, once a month. But in the Philippines, I want to share to you, to all of you, that we came up into a platform wherein, in accordance with SDG number 12, actually, I sent the link to Madam if we can show it, or if not, I will just explain it from the heart. Accordingly, we will be dictating the future of the planet, the way we consume products and services. It's like the drink Sir is holding. The phone, the cell phone, the camera, our dress, and allow me to apologize that I am wearing a cap. at the same time a rubber shoes because of the situation that we have. Yesterday, I have my shoes fit for the coat, but due to adaptation, this is the wear that I have now. Going back, when I bought this cap and this shoes, it has an equivalent of specific carbon footprint. That is why we have a platform called EcoShop. It's in the link below. I'll be sending also the link so that you can have it. In the Philippines, also we have coalitions with Taiwan, with friends from Indonesia, wherein when they consume $25 each consumption, you have a tree, one seedling. For the next another $25, you plant that seedlings. And for that platform, you have a tree bank. And the tree bank will be passed on to the next generation. Because the account, specific account on the EcoShop is transferable. Also, when you reach at least 100 US dollar consumption, you have a point for your premium for what we call the climate risk transfer mechanism. Wherein for our country, we started with the cooperatives. The cooperatives, these are the fisher folks, farmers, the SMEs, small medium enterprises, who cannot compete with the multinational. Under the concept of no one left behind, this platform will cut the middleman because we're looking forward for farm to table concept. Simply because food is the nexus, intersection of climate adaptations together with the water. On that concept, also, we're looking for eco-based products, environmental products. Just like this morning, if I'm not mistaken, perhaps we brush our teeth. We use the soap. We use the shampoo. And most of the soap that we use, they are branded together with the packaging coming from the forest, the wood, together with the plastic, which is hydrocarbon. But unfortunately, we cannot use the plastic and the paper when we want to smell fresh during the shower, where we will put in the trash can another carbon footprint, another cost for the consumer with no return. And that is why this platform really would like to screen which product that will fit into the quote-unquote real need based on the scenario that we have. And that packaging, together with advertising, it comprises more than 25, sometimes more than 50% of the products. And that 25 to 50% of the products, instead of polluting the environment, we have a problem with regards to microplastic, we have a problem with regards to bisphenol A and VCD, carcinogenic compound causing cancer. We will appropriate this using the platform for our tree planting, tree growing, and tree bank, so that we'll be able to sustain our forests, we'll be able to sustain carbon sink forests, and at the same time, we will be collaborating for us to be able to have a good leveraging trading for the carbon trading mechanism. You ask me why? Why? Simply because the developing country, already victim of climate change, we cannot afford that we are already the victim. The developed country, they will be using our carbon forest for trading, for commercial purposes. It has to be the developing countries should have an upper hand in using our carbon forest. With that, the Philippines is looking for more collaboration. We're looking for MOU. We're looking for ways and means on how to have this climate commitment by means of using our carbon forest. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you, thanks Professor Arthur for your insight. And I'm really happy that you are looking for the collaborations and through the NGOs and all. Normally the countries are looking forward to collaborate with each other and make the MOUs. But you people are really want to work with the grassroots level. So I open this floor if anyone else have to ask some questions.
Sustainable development, finance, assessment, so we also can do
thank you, sir, for both those wonderful sessions. Very important in the current context. And I cannot stop from saying that I'm from India, and we do have a similar in terms of the tropical climate. So many of these concerns are very related to us as well. So first question, sir, to your Majesty. You mentioned very important point about taking care of the trees planted, because it's not just planting the trees, to take care of it, there will be high mortality. Even we have faced this problem in our program, tree-based farming system. I just want to understand in your context whether there is any focus on developing good quality planting materials also at the community level, because that can also create this kind of enterprises at the family level. So any on creating good quality grafts of these trees which are to be planted, if an initiative is being taken in that context to develop good quality planting.
Thank you, sir. What we're doing recently is, as I said, we go to the community, we empower the community, give them seedlings, we plant together with them, and then we monitor these seedlings. The picture that I showed you earlier on, maybe you might not see this clearly, but this is on top of a mountain. So this is more like a mountain, and this community, these people, make sure that they go there even the time when there's no rain and water these trees. You see, these people are so committed. They water the trees themselves. This tree, this young man here is Mr. Masauko, and these trees we planted 2 years ago. Yeah, and they wouldn't be at this stage because if they were just left alone. Because these guys, they collect manure from their fields, from their farms, from the cattle, and they take the manure, put it under these trees so these trees can grow. And what we've also done is that with some of the pine variations that we have, different types, there's different types whereby some pine trees, when you cut them down, they don't regrow. So you have to remove the nest, the roots, you see. But then, if with these ones, they grow like bluegum trees. You cut them down, they regrow. So those are some of the innovations that we are bringing in. And also, because we do know and understand that to have someone in the community, because we're working with the community, the grassroots, right? So we're working with the poor and ultra-poor people there. Yes. So these people are also looking up to these trees to say, you know what, in the next 10 years, what are we going to benefit from these trees? So what we're also doing is we're encouraging them to start beekeeping. So we bring the bees, we bring various items and what have you, and then give them to them so that they can be practicing beekeeping, or make the honey, and help them find the markets, resell, so that this thing is sustainable and continuous. So that is basically what we're doing when it comes to the tree planting and the protection of the trees, and also to make sure the trees do grow to reach the goal we want. Thank you. Thanks.
I would like to tell you that the Inkosi Center is doing the same thing like you are doing, basically for the conservation of the plants. And we plant more than 15 feet high plants and the high range mountains. And the same, like the gentleman who is taking care of the plants, our tribal area people, the communities, we try to appoint them for taking care of the trees and the communities also do. So these community-based initiatives are taken by the Inkosi Center in India, Maharashtra. So I just wanted to add it into your things. Anybody?
So sir, please, I got welcoming the kind of initiatives you have taken, only like how to scale up those initiatives. And I think the plantation program especially, if it is on wasteland and monocropping, I think again from nature-based solution points of view, questions would be raised. So I just wanted to share the similar program introduced by our organization where we are working at family level. And in tribal regions, the families have their own lands, only they were migrating. So those were in neglected state. So those marginal lands were brought under agri-forestry model, which is called Wali model. And I think that is scalable because the family is essentially involved in managing those kind of tree plantations. So it is tree-based farming system model, and which is giving multiple benefits of livelihoods and also other spillover effects like ecology, ecosystem services, nutrition security. So it would be more if we can try scaling up India and Malawi partnership for party upscaling. So I will share details of that model with Inkosi, and I think that will help adding value to the kind of work we are doing.
I'm just disturbing in between because Professor Albert wants to go a little early. He has some session in Philippines Pavilion and he would like to present something to His Majesty. So just giving him 2 minutes for that and then we'll again go for the question answer session.
On behalf of our president, this is the book that we're doing in the Philippines. The wind turbine was constructed by the president of the Philippines more than 40 years ago. It's the first wind turbine in Southeast Asia. And the province where he lived, a former governor in the northern area of the Philippines, is considered to be one of the cleanest provinces in all over Asia. And we are then carbon sink and net zero carbon 40 years ago. May this serve as inspiration to everybody. Thank you, Your Majesty. Thank you.
It's our call to action. We signed this a few months ago. This is all the traditional leaders, led by the kings, senior chiefs. We signed this. This is our commitment to help the government and also the various organizations that are working on climate change in our country so that we can be more effective. So we committed ourselves to ensure that people do not encroach in forest reserves or illegal charcoal production is being made. As I say, charcoal is a big thing and a serious issue that we're tackling in the country. And it's so serious because people rely on it for their livelihood. We say no to poaching and illegal wildlife trade, and we committed to monitoring and protecting areas bounded in cases of vandalism. Committed to raise awareness in our communities to improve understanding of the importance of forest and climate restoration, and also to encourage sustainable agricultural practices and so and so. Also committed to stop illegal fishing in our areas, or even using illegal fishing gears, such as, people sometimes use nets that are made from mosquitoes that have medication for fishing. So at the end of the day, they also contaminate the waters. Instead of just catching a few fish, they end up contaminating the water and killing more fish than they should. Just committed to set up appropriate bylaws. So, Malawi is quite interesting in a way whereby basically each and every community has a traditional leadership connected to it. Because in Malawi, traditional leadership structures start from the grassroots. at family level, you know. So grassroots level, you have village headman who looks after a contingent of households, and there you have a group village headman who is over a couple of 50 or so of village headmen, and then you have the traditional authority who are looking over a group of group village headmen. So traditional authority will look over, say, 600,000 people, even reaching up to 1 million or 300,000 people. And then you have the kings and paramount chiefs. So in this case, you will see that our structures are solid, our structures are effective if used the right way, because it's easy for us to have proper monitoring, it's easy for us to have proper dissemination of information, it is easy for us to reach out to our communities. All that is needed basically more and more is to constantly empower traditional leadership of structures with proper information so that we can be advocates of positive change. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. Just to add on what the King of the Kid said here, Senior Chief from that's Malawi. Just to make sure that the climate change is also accepted at family level. As chiefs, we intend to have a platform where we're going to have bylaws that are speaking to the whole country. We would say that okay, each and every family should plant trees. Let's say one, for example, one for fruits and one that can be used for other purposes. So we keep going into that, and we're hoping in the next talk we'll be able to say something about it. So these are pipeline plans that we have as trees.
So how do you look at the agroforestry things for to develop the communities and the survival? Do you promote the agroforestry for them? Through the government or maybe in some part of NGOs? What is the, I just wanted to know what are the NGOs and the government to provide?
Thank you. So, in Malawi, the way we do things is that we work in an inclusive manner, whereby sometimes it's even hard to differentiate between a government project or community-based project or projects that have been established by NGOs. Because usually we work together and everyone is considered in one way or another a stakeholder of whatever is happening within the community. When it comes to eco-based initiatives, climate change and mitigating factors, we do have some projects and activities that we're setting up. As I said earlier on, that you would notice that we're being hit hard, being affected much by natural disasters, and diseases for crops, and what we're trying to do is find cheaper methods, but methods that are also safer for the environment. For example, when people are planting maize or crops nowadays, they're being encouraged to use manure. Why manure? Because manure resuscitates soils, it revives the soil, and because usually, in general, fertilizer that we use in most farms basically degrades the land more than it actually resuscitates and revives the land. So one of the things that we're doing is that, and another thing is encouraging people also plant trees not only at random, but plant specific trees that should be connected to a specific area because those trees bring a benefit to that particular area. Because as you all know, there are some trees in some areas that suck up more water than most. There are some trees in some areas that preserve water than most. So we need to be able to differentiate these things so that these trees that we plant do not become a burden, but a benefit, because it is possible. Plant trees, and then years later you find that that area is even more susceptible to drought than it was a few years back, because you planted trees that are sucking out all the water from the ground reserves. So that's another thing that we're doing. And another thing is that people are learning that are farming, and also trying to also provide them with better seeds that are faster germinating, seeds that will take long, because we also understand that the weather patterns and everything else is changing. For example, last year we had so much rain and we had a lot of flooding. This year, the first rains that have come to Malawi, we've already seen flooding in Salima, which is one of our districts, and another district around Palombo. So we do know that those things are happening. It's going to happen. Thank you. We're also interested in how COVID products are working, because we also need to know and understand that. Because we do know, I think I see that we're interested because we're having so much forest cover that is increasing, and we do know that one of the ways that our people can benefit, especially the community level, is through communities.
Our partner, Global Urban Council, they have a program where you can be a partner with them for carbon credits, and I will provide you the links and everything. And they have consultants. If they are not in Malawi, you should go with to make the MOU with them. And Mr. Husa, please can you? His Majesty of Malawi just want to ask about how to get the carbon credits thing. If you can give answer. Yeah, please. So they are having a website where you can apply as a consultancy. And they have not for you, but as a country, they have posted some consultants over there for doing all this job. So land, use land, who are planting, that kind of calculations is should be over there. Normally they give you a 50% for 5%. So that way it is working, and farmers, they have a right, and farmers have a right to get carbon credits. That way they can use to plant all this.
The global carbon council, we have close to 15 projects that have been submitted to us, and we are going to help organizations to reduce about 4 billion emission reduction. One ton of carbon So now how to proceed and how to topic projects and how to about that. We look at is whether what kind of education activity is that. You said that you're forestation, you're planting trees. So what do plants do every day? It's like they sequester the carbon dioxide which is atmosphere directly and help them grow to photosynthesis and help them expand, and so they convert carbon dioxide into fixed carbon in the body of the. This is how it happens. But then it's a long process. Most species are different. We have some 5 years, 10 years, 100 years. Depends also on the and where the difference is. You have first of all determine how long it will take. And there are algorithms, there are formulas that are available in terms of document order to methodology. So the methodology is that document actually tells you how to calculate the emissions reduction that could generate from the forestation area, number one. Then it will also tell you what parameters to monitor over the crediting period. The crediting period is a period over which a tree or a plantation project can actually produce the greenhouse gas. So, we recently launched through Santa in our program. So it allows renting periods from about 20 years to 80 years. Which means it depends on the type of the project, type of species. They will come. Because I had to give that background. So the first thing is, once you know which one is the right methodology, because it will tell you how to calculate, how to measure, what to do, right? And the second thing is that, now then you have to reflect everything in terms of a project design document. That document actually is a plan of how you're going to release it over the next 10 years and how you're going to monitor it. Then you submit that project design document on the GCC portal, which is a publicly available platform, online platform. And once you do that, there's a process called global stakeholder consultation process to be carried for 15 days. So that the global stakeholders comment and look at the project. And then after this is passed, then the third party verifies that we have approved already. You have to choose one among those, which has the competency for the verification. And then they go and they will validate the project. It takes 4 or 5 months for them to go, because they also have to do a test review. And they will also do the on-site visit, finalize the report, and then they will make recommendations to the program. Our steering committee is the one that decides the project. They are the final authority in this. The panel of international experts that have been already approved. They will submit the recommendations to the GCC program. After the recommendation, we will evaluate the project. We will also make a recommendation to them to be able to register or not. If we make a recommendation to register and they agree, the project gets registered, which means that the plan is acceptable. And once the plan is acceptable, you have in parallelly, done the sowing, plant the trees, let the trees grow, and then after a certain period, for the monitoring period, you are verified, and you will actually do the monitoring to see that how much is the accumulated carbon that's there in the carbon stock that's there in your forest now. Because all trees grow differently, you have to apply statistical techniques that are very normal in projects. In this how you will do it. Once you prepare the report or the monitoring report for a particular period, it tells how much of emission removals have been accumulated in terms of the forestry project. Then it's time for you to invite the verifier again. Check the So once they do so, they come with a report, then they submit everything is electronic. Okay, the verifier submit verification report electronically to us. The project developers submit the project to us, and we evaluate and finally, then they may decide whether to issue the carbon credits. So this is the whole process of it. Any questions?
Sorry to take you a little bit, but that's following the question that you have raised, just in addition to what the Kenya said about the organizations that we make in ensuring that they are applying for trees in Malawi. We have Malawi, we have Action Aid that assists, and we have World Vision, and of course through the help, as Zoe said, through the help of the ministry. That is climate change ministry. From what you've elaborated on a couple of projects, I just wanted to find out how long does it take, like the whole process to end?
From the point of view of GCC, we take close to 35 days to a month, 2 months at the most. But then there are other actors involved. So like verifiers. It depends on how quickly the verifiers finish their work. It depends on how quickly your consultants or maybe you prepare the design document and what quality of design document is. If it's a good quality, it will take less time. If it's not that it's still gaps there, obviously it will take longer time. So lot depends on the different actors that are in the process. From the steering committee and from the each side, not around 3-5 months. normally verifiers your experience takes 4 months, 5 months of time. And then because it's a huge work, forest. When you look at the forest, thousands of hectares of land. You can. And then when you look at the forest, you have to determine the carbon stock. So you have to survey, statistical analysis. So you will just draw a 10-meter diameter area, determine how much the quantity of biomass that's there in the above ground, below ground, will be visible by carbon. And once you determine that, you get an estimate of how much amount of biomass in terms of weight and volume is there. Then you, with the empirical equation, if you convert that into equivalent of carbon dioxide emission, that will be. So you have to extrapolate this applying sensitive. And so one sample is not enough. You have to have many samples. And you have to go do individual measurements like the forest. So the typical process, you measure the health influence of the particular tree. You try to estimate how much of the plantation and the trees what's going on the whole year. So this is a long process. Typically in a forest, I'm not a forest people, but you know that how it goes in the forest. It's a big area to be covered. So I think better to start earlier. That's why forestry projects have long building periods. Because it's going to take long time to make them grow. And it's long time for them to grow, then you obviously need to monitor it, right? And then the verification of time to look at that and then you do not go to all the projects of sectors. It will take them 10 years. It will 3 years. They have to do that, right? They have to do that. That means they know where to look at, so to give them confidence so that they can do certification and verification reports for the stakeholders from the all Did you answer the question? Okay, so thing is this. Now, this is what I told for project developer. What a particular project developer who owns the land, or there are a number of project developers who own stuff or the land because they come together and they jointly want to submit a project. Then also possible they can get the legal agreement and contract to make sure that there is one representative who represents all. And once the carbon credits are issued, the distributor will proceed in line with that agreement. That's completely outside our process, then we need to accumulating project owners together also helps because it helps them reduce the cost. There's a long, big road area owned by one person and one company, for example. It makes sense to go along without because if you accumulate people, then there are complexities also. There are conflicts, and you don't know how to handle them, and that can go in the legal way, right? So I think there are pros and cons of you have to look at each particular project, different projects. But now, as a country, what should be done? I think I was saying in the context of the project development. What a country has to do. Article 6 is they are trying to establish their own carbon market with their own country. Right? The thing is, many countries also eventually at this point in time establish their carbon market. So with that GC program, we have operated this program for the last 7 years. We built everything from scratch. That's why we have 1,500 projects with us, and we can see that we can help those projects to reach 2 billion or 10 years. So we are doing capacity building also. We are helping companies to understand what needs to be done. We are also offering a registration system to them at no cost. The model is that we recover the cost from the projects that we issue, they will get the credit issued, and then they will get their financial return, and from that they can submit as our cost because we also have to lower our administrative cost. That is possible, but it also depends on each country. If there are specific requirements of country, we will try to include those specific requirements of the country in our rules, and then ensure that whatever compliance check is done in line with the chemicals. But if you want to, we can have a separate session to explain how we can help in that process. And then the other way is that the countries establish their own systems from the scratch. It's like You go to the supermarket, if you want to buy a milk, buy milk, you go to the supermarket, buy milk and have it. All the other way is go and buy the cow, have a farm, and if you want to go in that process, because some countries want full control, they want to see what the cow is, and then when the milk is coming. So it's a choice that countries have to make. But I think what we are doing is we are offering both the choices. Thank you very much. I'll just get my card.
Thank you, Amit. Thanks a lot. Thank you, His Majesty. So, in Sanskrit it says that Dashaputra Samavapi, Dashavapi Samorudra, Dasharudra Samaputro, Dashaputro Samodramo. That means a pond equals 10 wells, a reservoir equals 10 ponds, a sun equals 10 reservoirs, and a tree equals 10 suns. So everyone needs to plant maximum trees to have like their sons. And the world in this climate change, not only the conference but in this conflict of climate change and fight of climate change, only wants 3 W's. That's what my perception. One is water, wetlands, and wisdom. And that way you can definitely fight the climate change. Thanks a lot. Thank you for listening and thanks for coming.